And let's get started exploring variables with Tipensy. All right, so let's do our review, a quick review of variables, just to bring our ideas back to what we originally talked about in the first lesson. Variables, remember, store a value that can change. The variable value doesn't always stay the same. It can be a different name based on different people who play a game. It can be a different number based on a score in a game, like we saw in Vario. It can be a different number based on a timer in a game. And these values, this variable value can be used in other parts of the program. The score in a game, in an online game, can be displayed somewhere. Your name can be used in a sentence to say hello or welcome. And we know that for Scratch, we have an input variable where the sprite will ask a question. We have an input field where you can type in the answer and click on the check mark or click on the return key, and that will save whatever the user has typed in here. They'll save it into the variable name. A variable can be used as a value in a conditional block. We saw this in the unit about loops with conditions, where we played Twister Maze, and based on the number that was rolled on the die, and our variable in that game was called die number, the players were instructed to move their piece a certain number of spaces or turn their piece to the left or the right before moving those spaces. So we noticed that we had the orange, it was an orange oval just like this one. It was called die number. So we can use this in a conditional block, and we can see that this green block is the same shape as the sensing blocks, the blue sensing blocks, and it allows us to assign a value to a variable. We can also use variables as arguments in an action block. And remember in the last unit, we talked about the word argument. That was one of our vocabulary words. An argument is a value that we can input. It can be text, it can be numbers, or it can be a variable in order to customize a block. So I can have my steps variable put into my move steps block, and then I can have the user enter how many steps they want the sprite to move. I can have my variable put into the say block, and I can have the user enter in what they want the sprite to say. So using variables as arguments in action blocks allows us to customize the program based on the user who's running the program. In this script, the program will say, game over, you win, and stop all actions when what variable equals what. So if we look at this and we see that we again see our forever block and we see our if then, and if we read through this, if the score equals 10, then say game over, you win for 2 seconds. So the program will say game over, you win, and stop all the actions when the score variable equals 10. So it allows us to define a condition of the score equaling 10. When that condition is true, when the score equals 10, then the action of saying game over, you win will be done by the sprite. When the green flag is clicked in this sprite, we have a set block, and the set block sets the variable steps to 3. So now the variable steps holds the value of 3. Then we have a repeat block that says move steps, steps. We know that our steps variable, because our set block set our steps variable to 3, right now is equal to 3. So with this block, it will move 3 steps. Let's see if we can answer these questions. When the green flag is clicked, the steps variable has a starting value of 3, exactly. Now, looking at my repeat block, I have a repeat 3 times. I know that my steps that variable holds a value of 3. So how many total steps will the soccer ball sprite move? The script is for the soccer ball sprite. How many total steps will the soccer ball sprite move when I click the green flag? Correct, 9 steps, because I'm repeating 3 times, move 3 steps, and 3 times 3 is 9. Excellent.